This is Stuff You Like, You Can Call Me Ursa, and it's me! Blind Pew. No, it's not. Oh. Fine. This is Stuff You Like, You Can Call Me Ursa, and Jim Hawkins is totally a Disney princess, you guys. I mean, look at his flowing blonde locks, the drudgery of his current life, that cute little dirt smudge on his nose, his soprano I Want song. Also, he has Muppet animal companions. How is that not amazing? What I'm trying to say here is Muppet Treasure Island was the bestest thing ever, and I was completely obsessed with it when I was a tween, I guess. To the point that when I bought the DVD last year and watched it for the first time in, 15 years, I remembered every line. Doesn't hurt that every song is a complete earworm and everyone looks like they're having a ball. On that note, the plot, it goeth thusly. Jim Hawkins is an orphan who is bored with his life of drudgery and dish-doing at an inn. Billy Bones, former pirate who also lives there, has a treasure map he stole from the now-deceased Captain Flint. Bones' former shipmates catch up to him one night and try to get the map back, and the shock gives Bones a fatal heart attack.
He died? And this is supposed to be a kid's movie!
Billy Connolly was reportedly very proud of being the only named character ever to die in a Muppet movie. Before he dies, he gives Jim the map, and so Jim, Gonzo and Rizzo go find themselves the rich half-wit Fozzie Bear. Young Squire Trelawney. Trelawney hires Kermit, Smollett, to captain the Hispaniola, but entrusts the rest of the hiring to the man who lives in his finger, and Long John Silver.
I'm starting to worry about this voyage.
Me too, Kermit. Me too. Silver takes Jim under his wing, but oh no! Turns out he and the rest of the crew are pirates who trick the first mate into testing the lifeboats, steal his keys and the map, then mutiny and kidnap Jim, try and make him join them, and then there's hunting and the good Muppets get kidnapped by the Muppet pigs who live on the island, and turns out Miss Piggy has treasure in her house. Kermit and Miss Piggy sing a parody award bait song, Jim et al. Conduct a daring rescue, Tim Curry has a fight with Kermit the Frog, and it's kind of amazing. It seems that all has ended happily, but then Silver escapes because he still has keys from an earlier plot point. Much good it'll do him also because of an earlier plot point. And Jim has family and Silver gives him his compass back because, my heart. And they sail off into the sunset, the end. Also, there's a ton of Muppet-related fourth wall breaking and anachronistic Muppet rats on a pirate cruise, and I love this movie so much. Even though I'm not really a pirate person. Because pirates, you guys. Less Johnny Depp, more David Weber books. But never mind that, because I want to talk about shiny things and daddy issues. Pirate stories, at least the good ones, are only tangentially about treasure. I mean, Pirates of the Caribbean is about undead pirates trying to return treasure in order to break a curse. And Elizabeth and Will trying to do shiz, and Will discovering his family history, and Jack Sparrowing it up. Looking for the treasure is generally a means of meeting goals. I wish to find this treasure because is much more compelling than I'm a pirate and I want to be rich, so let's go look for treasure, I guess? And so Muppet Treasure Island being a good pirate movie is not about treasure, it's more like Muppet daddy substitute. Jim wants to be like his father, but he never knew him, and so he's easy prey for the likes of Long John Tim Curry and his exciting life of a sailor. Treasure Island the novel features both of Jim's parents, though it does kill Jim's dad off quite early. But the movie does adopt most of the important plot elements, like Jim Hawkins being given Billy Bones' treasure map, he and some posh dudes going in search of the treasure, yada yada. The basic thread of the story is the same, but some of the details have been changed so that they can cram in more Muppets. Long John Silver hasn't changed that much, though. In the book, he's duplicitous and charming, a consummate actor, and he wins Jim's trust almost immediately. Silver is just more charismatic than Smollett, and that's true even when Smollett is Kermit the Frog. Smollett in the book is very lawful good, he's very orderly, he's very honourable, but he has all of the charisma of a damp rag, really. Silver, by contrast, is dashing and exciting and charming, and in the movie at least, also Tim Curry. I love Tim Curry in this movie. Did I mention that? I also love every interaction that Tim Curry has with anyone else in this movie.
Oh, hello, Long John.
This is totally a kid's film. What are you even talking about? Long John and Smollett and Benjamina give us a love triangle, or at least a parody of one, complete with Love Let Us Hear, hilariously award-baity style song sung by Muppets about to be dropped off a cliff. But the real triangle here is Jim's. Our blonde Disney protagonist has a hero worship triangle going on with Smollett and Silver in their two competing philosophies. Silver gets to sing about his because Tim Curry. He also has the advantage of not being green, which I hear isn't easy, but both of them actually care about Jim and Jim cares about both of them, and so actual internal conflict. Does Jim go along with the second act mutiny with father figure Silver, or does he stick with Captain Smollett, who is less warm and less nurturing and also a frog. Do you want to be like your dad, who you're told is kind and good and honourable, but who is dead? Or do you want to be like Silver, who is kind to you, at least, and warm and charismatic and right here available to you? Oh, but also he's a pirate. And so it goes that Jim chooses the friends he has over the daddy substitute who's threatening them. Because Silver is a charming jerk, although the Muppet version is at least a little stronger willed than the book version. He's that whole exciting and dangerous, but really he's a gooey gumdrop underneath type that makes him easy to like, but he's probably gonna try and kill your friends. All complicated by the fact that, as I said, he really does like Jim, which is a good thing, but not enough to make him a not horrible person, which is all nicely messy and complicated. Kind of reminds me of Severus Snape in that regard. Like, you feel very sorry for him because he does have one character trait which isn't just awful, but then you remember he's not really a very nice person. And so it goes. Silver's endearing characteristics are enough that Jim doesn't turn him in when he escapes, but also not great enough for Jim to actually go with him. Muppet Treasure Island is, I think, the darkest of the Muppet movies. Not in terms of tone, that would be A Muppet Christmas Carol, which straight up terrified me when I was little, but in terms of the actual things that happen. I mean, it starts with mass murder. And it deals with big themes, father-son relationships and people who are kind to you but also horrible people generally, and betrayal and death. And yet it's still amazingly funny because it is so incredibly silly. The fourth wall is broken all the time. There are rats on a cruise. There's the whole intentional big-lipped alligator moment that is cabin fever. And it's glorious and sweet and memorable. Oh, so very memorable. You know what I could use right now? A sing-along.
I got cabin fever, it's burning in my brain.
I've got the cabin fever, it's driving me insane.
We got cabin fever, we're flipping our bandanas. Been stuck at sea so long that we have simply gone bananas.
I've got cabin fever. I think I lost my grip.
I'd like to get my hands on whoever wrote this script.
Cabin fever is Muppets all aboard. This one-proud vessel has become a floating psycho ward. We were sailing, heaven who knows where. And now though we're all here, we're not all there.
Thanks for watching. Remember, if you want to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/JillBearup, which is, there's a link over here. And I will see you next time.
We got cabin fever.
Hey, you two aren't Muppets.